Does anyone remember this kid show? It was called Cove, and I must have been 6 or 7. I never found a reference to it anywhere, so I think it was on a local station or something. I lived in Ironton at the time. I don't remember which station, but I do remember it was on a weird time, like 4 p.m.
It seems really familiar to me. I grew up outside of Ashland, so it could have been the same station I saw. Was it about pirates? I remember a pirate marionette at the mouth of a cave talking to a little girl.
Ah, yes! Okay, I'm not crazy. I remember Pirate Percy. I was always kind of scared of him. He looked like he was built from parts of other dolls, really low budget. His head was an old porcelain baby doll, like an antique that didn't belong on the body. I don't remember what station this was, but I don't think it was WTSF, though.
I know exactly what you mean. I think Cove only ran for a few months. I was 12 and I watched it a few times with my little brother. It was Channel 58, whatever station that was. My mom would let me switch to it after the news. From what I remember, it took place in Cove, and it was about a little girl who imagined herself to be friends with pirates. The pirate ship was called the Laughingstock, and Pirate Percy wasn't a very good pirate because he got scared too easily. Don't remember the girl's name, Janice or Jade or something.
Thank you. Memories flooded back when you mentioned Laughingstock in Channel 58. I remember the bow of the ship was a wooden smiling face with the lower jaw submerged. It looked like it was swallowing the sea and had that awful Ed Wynn voice and laugh. I especially remember how jarring it was when they switched from the wooden plastic model to this foam puppet version of the head that talked.
Oh yeah, I remember now too. Do you remember when it said, "You have to go inside"?
Ugh, I got a chill reading that. Yes, I remember. That's when the ship always told Percy when there was a spooky place he had to go in, like a cave or a dark room where the treasure was. And the camera would push in on Laughingstock's face with each pause. You have to go inside. With his 2 eyes askew and that flopping foam jaw, and the fishing line that opened it and closed it. Ugh, it just looked so cheap and awful. Do you guys remember that villain? He had a face that was just a handlebar mustache above really tall, narrow teeth.
I honestly thought the villain was Pirate Percy. I was about 5 when the show was on. Total nightmare fuel.
That wasn't the villain, the puppet with the mustache. That was the villain's sidekick, Horace Horrible. He had a monocle too, but it was on top of the mustache. I used to think that meant he had only one eye. But yeah, the villain was another marionette, the Skin Taker. I can't believe that show ever got on TV.
Wasn't his top hat and cloak all sewn up crazily? Was that supposed to be children's skin?
Yeah, I think so. Remember his mouth didn't open and close. His jaw just slid back and forth. I remember the little girl said, "Why does your mouth move like that?" And the Skin Taker didn't look at the girl but at the camera and said, "To grind your bones."
I'm so relieved that other people remember this terrible show. I used to have this awful memory. A bad dream I had where the opening jingle ended, the show faded in from black, and all the characters were there. But the camera was just cutting to each of their faces, and they were just screaming, and puppets and marionettes were flailing spastically, and they were all screaming. The girl was just moaning and crying like she had been through hours of this. I woke up many times from that nightmare. Used to wet the bed when I had it.
I don't think that was a dream. I remember that. I remember that was an episode.
No, not possible. There was no plot or anything. I mean, literally just standing in place and crying and screaming for the whole show.
Maybe I'm manufacturing the memory because you said that. But I swear to God, I remember just what you described. They just screamed.
Oh God, yes. The little girl, I remember seeing her shake, and the Skin Taker screaming through his gnashing teeth, his jaw careening so wildly I thought it would come off its hinges. I turned it off, and it was the last time I watched. I ran to tell my brother, but we didn't have the courage to turn it back on.
Guys, I visited my mom today. I asked her about when I was little, like 8 or 9, and I asked her if she remembered a kid's show about pirates. She said she was surprised I could remember that. I asked why, and she said, because I used to think it was so strange that you said, "I'm going to go watch Candle Cove now, Mom," and then you would turn on the TV to a static channel and just watch that for 30 minutes. You had a big imagination with your little pirate show.